So, Stephen, if someone were to ask you, hey, what is this book about? What would you say?
I would say it's sort of the most accurate depiction possible of the inside of a campaign during the last American election, where American democracy actually collapses under the weight of distrust and under the weight of a collapsing electoral system. And so it's a paranoid political thriller that's accurate.
Have you gotten any feedback as yet?
Well, I mean, the people who read it really liked it. I mean, the Publishers Weekly, like I've never actually had a starred review. I've never had a pre-review for a book go as well as like be as nice as that one, where it's like, this is a really great working thriller. So I was pretty stoked by that. And yeah, the response I've had has been great. How about you?
You know what's funny? I don't know if this is an insult to my previous books, but they were like, I'm shocked at how much I like this.
Right. Well, I mean, it makes sense because it's like it's a thriller, like it's a straight thriller, but it also contains sort of more, intimate information about political life, and I think those two in combination are pretty interesting to read, right? Like I think those are sort of more fun things to read than just like politics, right? Like, and it's sort of a different take on it, I think. And it's a very unusual book. Like, I looked at it again last night and I was like, we have actually written something that's pretty particular. Like, I don't think there's another example of a book really like this one. But I mean, I think that's exciting too, right? Like, it's strange.
Yeah, what multiple people have said to me is they felt like they learned something and they were entertained, which I feel like is mission accomplished for us because,
Exactly. Yeah.
our goal was to entertain, yes, but it was also to convey various messages. So let's talk about who the heck you are, how you came to this topic, how we ended up writing this book together. So you wrote a book, The Next Civil War, that came out, gosh, now about 2 years ago, and it was provocatively meant to say, look, the United States has very, very clear signs of disintegration that other societies have gone through, and it's not exceptional in this regard. What was the process like researching that book and then putting it out? This is a work of nonfiction,
Yeah.
and then the response thereafter.
Well, in some ways, it was similar to our project because it was like there were imagined scenarios of what an American breakdown would look like, and then it was deeply researched, right? So, I mean, what it did was like the research was like a lot of phone calls with experts, and also, we live in an age of sort of unbelievable modeling from a lot of different viewpoints: agricultural, environmental, political, economic. Like there just are these really, really functional models, and I wanted to sort of basically take those models and then put flesh on the bones, right? Like make people understand what it means if a hurricane hits New York, which all the models say that it will, right? And so that was kind of the process there. Then there was, of course, the journalistic process of like going out and talking to members of the extreme right, which was, because I look like one of them, it was very easy for me to, get access to them. And they were all very polite and nice to talk to with me. And so it was talking to them, doing things like going to gun shows in Oklahoma, prepper conventions in Ohio, talking to people of that nature. So it was kind of it was like an all methods that I could think of to do. And it really, what was so interesting to me about our project is that in that book, I didn't really talk about electoral politics, right? Like I didn't really, because like I felt like the models that I wanted to bring in the next Civil War were ones that I felt I could define. Like some are stronger than others, but I could inform the reader of the strength of them, right? So it's like the environmental models are incredibly strong. They just are incredibly predictably strong. The economic models are incredibly weak. I'll give you the best ones. I'll show you how they work, but like they're not effective. But with electoral politics, I really couldn't get reliable information. Like everyone has an agenda, everyone is hiding something. And that's why when you came along with this idea, I really felt like this is a unique opportunity, right? Like this is a unique chance to actually get a reliable point of view on the state of of electoral politics in the United States. And to your credit, you absolutely gave that to me, and it's in the book.
Yeah, yeah. So we were both tracking down some version of the truth and some
Yeah,
version of the not so distant future.
yeah,
And that's what excited me is that there was a sense, and I think other people who read this have also gotten the sense is like that they come back and say, you know, I find this eminently plausible, which is what makes it scary, but also hopefully valuable
yeah. That's the idea. That I mean, that's what. Yeah, and entertaining. I hope.
and entertaining.
But Publishers Weekly thought it was really entertaining. I mean, that was what I was. I assumed we get the credit from like it being truth telling. Like because we worked hard at that. Like I thought we got that. But like the entertaining thing like is a little trickier, and I think we've got that too, which is nice. Which is like it's a good bonus.
Yeah, it is entertaining. Multiple people have said to me it reads like a movie or a TV show, and there are folks in Hollywood who are looking at potentially turning it into a movie or TV show. So this could be coming to screens near people. Hopefully, people will run out and buy the book and enjoy it.
Yeah.
And then X months later, if it shows up on your TV screen, you can be like, oh, and you could be in the know and say, oh, that happened. But I will say, I'd be excited about that because the story does read like a thriller, and that's a credit to you, Stephen.
It is. I mean, it's just a straight thriller, right? I mean, I felt like I was really trying to imitate those great thrillers of the '60s, like like the 7 Days of May, Manchurian Candidate. Those are just great books, And like the political thriller as it's come to exist is a little different than those. Like they tend to be a lot longer and a lot more, with a lot more stages and also more lengthily written, like the more voluminously written. But I want it to be concise, Also, like I feel like the sense of relentlessness, like that's like part of the times we live in, right? This feeling of like this relentless march of time, like things speeding up rapidly. And those old books really had that way of building that right into the structure of the story, and like that, and I wanted to get that too because it seems to fit, right? It fits the moment, it fits the story, it fits where we are at.
Hey YouTube, glad you're enjoying the podcast. If you really like it, hit subscribe, and then YouTube will notify you every time we have a bang up new guest. Thank you.